Welcome guys to another episode of Boom Arena. Today we're gonna be reaching 4600 on Boom Arena ladder using this Digger Mortar deck with a Skeleton Keg as a bonus. This deck can be played very aggressively. Obviously it can be supplemented with Flying Bomb, but I believe the better place is to just go full on bait and bait out the counters of the opponent. So Skeleton Keg pretty much is a good addition to this deck, because if your opponent uses a rolling steel, he has to be very careful about the Skeleton Keg, and also Mortar can be a very annoying option to bait out his counters. So without further ado, let's jump to the game number 1 of this video and show some dominance. And in the first game of this video we're gonna be up against Raccoon, who will have 10 medals, and we're gonna see what he's gonna play. He's gonna respond with Fawn, so very standard response. I'm gonna respond with a Fawn Horde myself, just to test the waters. And as a good rule of thumb, especially at the beginning of the day, at the beginning of the game, you don't want to play any spells. You want to just keep them a secret a bit, and you want to play troops to just get more value out of them and maybe recognize what your opponent is playing in a better way. So right now I'm gonna actually use spells because he gave me a clear way to use them. We're gonna take these footmen and try to protect the mortar just for it to connect once more. It will shoot even once more, so that's a very good start for me. And with that, we're gonna be taking a very comfortable lead. Also, a quick detail here: if you play Stone Phones early enough, you can fully counter Bone Blasters, but if you're late, I would recommend just overspending on Bone Blasters, because if you are to commit any mana to Bone Blasters, you probably don't want to take any hits from them, or at least minimize the damage to like I don't know, if you have a tiny, you can suck one hit because you are 1 mana ahead. It's the play I like to go for with beatdown decks, but with Cycle I usually like to defend Bone Blasters perfectly, so that's why Stone Phones were the card of my choice. It was also the cheapest response, so if there's an option, why not? I'm gonna now apply some pressure with Mortar, expecting some footmen at the bridge. He's gonna be playing skeletons, so that's gonna be it. I'm gonna play Gunner and just protect this Mortar till the end of time, because he's gonna eventually play something for it. I'm gonna now play Fawn Horde to protect it even more. It's gonna be more hits on the tower. Skeleton Keg will actually take the tower down, so I'm gonna just play Mortar for him to play a card on it, and he played a Skeleton Horde, so this is very good trade for him, actually. And right now I'm gonna try to just swarm these things. It would not be a good play if my opponent were to have the thingy, the spell, but he appears not to have a small spell to quickly respond to my swarm, so that's a good play in this regard. And there you have it. Game number 1 relatively easy, in a way that our opponent didn't even touch our tower, so yeah, GG's. Let's jump to the game number 2 of this video. And in the game number 2 we are gonna actually roll the same opponent, so it's gonna be Raccoon playing probably the same deck, because lower rated players just are not interested in switching decks, although he didn't show either Hill Tiny nor Swordman in the previous game, so it's very likely that he actually switched. We're gonna see actually how we perform against a, I hope, actual deck. And he's gonna start with Apes. Very good recognition out of me that I don't have building. I could have completely countered them with a Flying Bomb, but it would be a waste to reveal our spell very early, so I just kept some troops on the map, and it worked out perfectly. We're gonna play Mortar on the opposite side just to create some attack, and also to help the Stone Phones to defend the Swordman. It won't be very necessary, but we're gonna just request a response in a way out of our opponent, and he did play Apes, so he's gonna attack our Mortar, get one hit on the tower. I don't think it was the best value out of his mana, but I don't think he expected to get anything done with it either, so very good trades for us. Once again, our troops just getting more value than they are supposed to, and we're gonna be actually very chilling with this opening siege. I'm gonna play Digger for this Gunner just to counter these two cards. It was the cheapest option on my hand. Usually I would play Gunner because, well, it serves two purposes, but this time I wasn't able to play a Gunner because I didn't have her on my hand. Right now I'm gonna expect him to go with Apes very soon. He's gonna be going with some Tinies, which was very scary because any Tiny pretty much would have killed my my Phone Horde instantly, but I waited and it pays off. Usually, if you know your opponent's responses and you can anticipate them in a various ways, you're gonna be ahead in the game. This time I'm gonna actually choose to Flying Bomb the Gunner because I won't be having a comfortable way of dealing with her later, so I'm gonna just, I'm gonna play Stone Phones here, and these should take care of Gunner. And with this position, I think we are absolutely winning and there's nothing for him to do at this point. We're gonna take the game number 2, GG's, well played, and we're gonna, with that accent, move to the game number 3. And we're in the game number 3. It's gonna be a 0 medal player called Bug Black Willis, which, I don't know, probably there's a deeper meaning behind it, but I'm gonna just assume that he like the black bugs that are called willies. I don't know. I would have to have a PhD in biology to understand this. Anyhow, we're gonna play some game, and so far he's been showing a interesting deck, which I don't understand because you usually, oh, there it is. So there's the win condition of our friend. He's gonna be playing T-Rex with Balloon, very versatile combo. You can actually boost the balloon speed with the balloon, and very good because like the biggest weakness of the balloon is its lack of speed, and you can cover it with just pushing it. So there was a thought behind this deck. We're gonna see if he's gonna be able to break through, since Mortar, I mean any building honestly, is just a very good thing to have against Balloon. Even like buildings that don't attack air, like you wouldn't think that Skeleton Hut is a good response against Balloon, but actually I would even consider Skeleton Hut being the better response against Balloon than like a Phone Hut, which is the proper response against a Balloon, because of the fact that it just costs less. If the Skeleton Hut were to shoot air, it would mean like a perfect counter, but it's just 1 mana less and you still can fully counter it. And yeah, our opponent failed his attack second time. That's the timing when usually your opponent will just quit the game, and I'm not gonna prolong this. Let's jump to the game number 4 of this video. And in the game number 4 we're gonna face Snowy, who's gonna be almost 500 medal player, who's gonna also wait for our first play, so you already can see that he has already put some thought into the game. We're gonna play a Gunner for this T-Rex, and from 2 first cards I'm anticipating 2 decks, which may be either Flying Robot or Splemetry, and from this cannon wheel I would actually expect it to be a Splemetry. I'm gonna get a kill on the cannon wheel, very important kill. I'm gonna repeat, because if his cannon wheel is dead, obviously he cannot counterplay with it, and cannon wheel symmetry push is still scary, and I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy to have to defend that. So that's a good start for us. We're gonna even get some chip from these fonts that I've just played as a chip pressure. And right now we're gonna have to take care of these skeletons so our mortar can actually lock onto the tower. Well, that was a waste for sure. And yeah, our opponent will be playing a flying robot, so our defense will be mostly a counterplay. And our mortar will get some value for us. So we will be able to just defend easier, and this cannon wheel locked onto the tower, which is just not good. It was on 1 HP, I evaluated it that it would die, but well, interactions are tricky. I'm gonna also play Gunner here because I don't want to take this free damage, and he will have to respond to her in some way, so that's the good thing for us. I'm gonna play Skeleton Keg and play some Digger. That's a very versatile combo. I'm gonna right now try to abuse it. Also, if this gunner gets a kill on this dragon, this is gonna be very huge, and it is. We're gonna play Mortar, and he's gonna be probably playing a cannon wheel. That was very expected. I'm gonna get a kill on this cannon wheel with that. There you go. And right now we can just go for the opposite side. Against Flying Robot, the only thing you want to do is not allow him to just attack you with everything he has, because if he does, he probably will win the game. You don't have enough resources to defend properly, so yeah, you just want to stop the potential coming attack. And I'm gonna try to defend this balloon. This cannon will live for a bit, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna go in with very clean defense, and that's gonna be a number 4. And a small tutorial how to beat a Robo Loon deck with Mortar Digger bait. Let's jump to the game number 5. And we are in the game number 5. It looks like against Moon Raccoon, so we have done some cyberbullying to this guy today. Well, it happens sometimes. He starts with a Ice Tiny and cannon, so my first guess would be 2.6 Super Ape, but it obviously can be anything else. Let's see what our opponent has in store for us while we cycle the Von Horde at the bridge. He's gonna respond with a Rolling Steel, so even more signs that it is actually a Super Ape in some way. And it's gonna actually get a hit because I was kinda slow on these stone falls. It would have gotten a no hit response if I were to be fast enough, but yeah, I'm not gonna question good things. Also, he has wasted a Rolling Steel, so these skeletons will absolutely take the tower, and at this point I think the game is already over, because as a Super Ape Cycle player you don't want to allow this type of stuff to happen. Also, this Super Ape shouldn't get a hit. There we go. And yeah, I don't think that was a best flying bomb. I'm wondering why my opponent didn't give up yet. Maybe he did, but I will play safe still to not lose my advantage. Yes, he still plays on. This Mortar will lock, and this Swordman will be completely countered, and I still will get some shots, so he probably will go for like last desperation Super Ape. I don't think it will work out, but players usually go for plays like this. I'm gonna tank with Digger, so my skeletons will get more value, just like this. And we're gonna get almost second tower down. He's gonna be playing Super Ape again. I'm gonna try to counter it with just troops, and it won't work out this time. I should have played Mortar, but you know, I kinda am in an unlosable position, so I can experiment with things. I'm gonna get a kill on that. I'm gonna play some Digger. I'm gonna get a Fons in the middle. he's not gonna be having a response. I'm gonna play Gunner to just kill it quicker. That should pay off, and I'm gonna finish the game number 5 of today's video. A quick tutorial and a gameplay of how to play this Digger Mortar control, I would say. Maybe bait. Depends, depending on how you play, it will be either control or bait. I'm playing more like baity style, but you cannot be too aggressive because after all it is a deck that has a very tough time of coming back. And there you have it, that's gonna be a 4600 medals. It's gonna be putting me on the first place at the leaderboards. As usual, the leaderboards will update soon, so I'm gonna be having 12 more medals, and that's the deck. The takeaway that I want to make is that if you are like afraid of dying too quickly, you can play Steel Hammer instead of Digger. This deck is still playable without Digger, but like this just gives an option, because Digger can either attack or defend, and Steel Hammer pretty much cannot attack as good as Digger does. So that's the one option I've chosen. Another thing that you can switch is obviously spells. You can play Poison here, you can play Blitz or Bullets if you kinda feel the matchup. Skeleton Keg can be replaced with Bone Blasters. That's also the thing, but just Skeleton Keg works better in this deck. Also, Mortar can be switched for Bomb Tower, but like always, Mortar is just like better option for me to play, because it just gives you the option of whether you want to attack or defend. So yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna thank you for watching till the end of the video. Make sure to let me down in the comments if you enjoy this type of Let's Plays, and make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed. What are you waiting for? Just do it. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next episode of Boom Arena.